What's going on, everyone? Thrift Barringer here live from Smith Station High School. It's the first Smith Station Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and I'm with the head football coach of Smith Station, my good friend Blair Harrison. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you believe it? Football season is finally here, man. It's been a long off season. It's been a long last couple of years since you've been on the gridiron. Let's start there. What does it feel like finally having a game week to prepare for, man?
Well, it's a lot different than it's been these last couple of months, but it's a lot more exciting because you have a true opponent that you're trying to get the kids ready to play. So we have numbers on the other side. They have the colors. They have a mascot. They have a name, and it's just a lot. It's a lot more fun, I think, preparing.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. But let's talk about the off season. You've had a awesome opportunity to kind of ingratiate yourself with all the players, understand what you got here, establishing a culture, a foundation. Now that we're heading into game week, do you feel like you had a really good offseason heading into year number one, man?
I do. I think that the kids have really appreciated the hard work that's been put into trying to make this a successful program, and they've responded greatly in doing what we asked them to do. It is, I've said from the beginning, we have really good kids here and a really good administration, and the parent support has been great. So, I mean, it's just sitting on ready, and, we just need to get going in the right direction, and I think we really are.
Yeah, Coach, and seeing that last week you had your first scrimmage game, we're going to talk about that scrimmage game. We'll talk about the quarterback position here in just a moment, his progression, but I want to talk about the community feel. What has it been like, man, especially leading up in that scrimmage game? I feel like it was a typical Friday night here in Smith Station. How did you feel about the community support last Friday?
Well, I mean, from the stands perspective, it was a big crowd for what I'm used to.
Right.
And I know it's going to get a lot bigger when we add the band and the cheerleaders and a real game. But, I looked up there once just to kind of get a feel, just a deep breath, just to take it all in.
Right.
But after that, I didn't really pay attention. But I know that we have football fans in our community, and I know we have people that understand the game.
Right.
So I've had a lot of good feedback from what they saw out of our players. And I think that's exactly what we needed. I was scared that going into a scrimmage, first time live bullets flying, that we might panic a little bit and make some major mistakes, and we really didn't. I mean, we made mistakes, which was good because if we would have played perfect, that'd been something wrong. But we made mistakes, but we also got better throughout the game, even on defense. We made some adjustments, and the kids adjusted themselves, and that's what you look for. A lot of people from the stands, might think that the coaches are doing all these adjustments and things like that, but we might be reminding them of what they're supposed to be doing. But when your kids can adjust themselves throughout the game and understand what you're saying, then I think that you're on the right track to being a successful team.
We talked about it, like heading into a scrimmage game like that. Was there a lot of preparation work into it, or was it more you're just trying to see what you got in first live action, not going against yourselves since the summertime?
Well, we didn't prepare really at all. We talked about what kind of defense that the previous coach ran at his previous school, and we talked that we knew they were going to be throwing it around, but we didn't have any route combinations. We didn't know any receivers, go-to guys. So we did not prepare for the scrimmage at all, like we are this week. So that's always scary too, because people want to, have a good showing. I've always wanted to just get people carries and make some throws and see who's going to tackle, who's going to run the ball. So scrimmages to me kind of are in a different category because really they don't go down in any record books, so they're gone, they're done.
Right.
But this Thursday it's going to be in the record books forever, and that's a different thing to play for.
Yeah, it is. And we're talking about against Shaw. It's the first game of the season for the Smith Station Panthers. They take on Shaw, who lost to Northside last week at Otis Spencer Stadium. This Thursday night, it is going to be a packed house there at a fabulous stadium, Coach, you know very well. But let's go back to the scrimmage game. Let's talk about your quarterback. His progression this offseason, we talked in media day. You're really excited about him. You like the enthusiasm, the energy he brings, his leadership. What did you see out of him in that first scrimmage game, man?
Well, he hung in there with me, play calling, because the first couple series, we were just trying to pound the ball and we were making mistakes and didn't say a word, just hung in there. And then when we got down, we actually got down 10-0. I told him, okay, it's time to open this thing up. And then we hit about a 70-yard touchdown pass 2 plays later. And then we started throwing on him a little bit, and he hung in there. He's a really good quarterback, one of the best ones I've been around.
Yeah?
Yeah, he just – I think at the beginning coming in, he didn't know. He's all about football. All his whole day, I think, centers around preparation.
Right.
And the way the program kind of was there back in the spring here, where they didn't really have a direction. I think that it took him a little bit of time to buy into me, and probably just being just personal, just
which is understandable, Coach.
Totally. And so I've spent a lot of time trying to earn his respect, and then he has definitely earned mine. And I mean, I couldn't, we actually have, several other quarterbacks that can play, but he stepped up and he's been our guy, and he makes us better. And he threw real well, Friday night, and he'll throw when we need him to throw it, and he's going to deliver the ball to our running backs. So he's a good team player, and he just wants to win, and so do I.
Yeah, Coach, you sometimes get the mantra of you're a run first coach, which I know you love running the football, but I think the strengths of your quarterback. You're willing to do multiple in your offense. So can you kind of, without giving out too much information, but for this Mid-State community, this is not going to be your typical Blair Harrison-led offense like it was maybe years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about your players,
right?
And I'm not going to come off my
bread and butter,
morals, right? I mean, what I do is what I do,
right?
But when you get an exceptional player like Cohen,
right, it
gives us more avenues to do more things. And I think he saw that Friday night in our scrimmage. He's like, oh yeah, we can do this. And we don't really do all that preparation in the summers with the 7-on-7s and things like that. But he takes us to another level offensively. And I really just haven't had, I've had some quarterbacks that were coming. When Andrew Alford played for me, he's definitely this type of guy. Alford could get the ball out of his hands. He could play real well, but he's a freshman when he played for me. Cohen's a lot more mature, and he makes really good decisions. So I can only name like a couple of guys that I've coached that could really run my offense on the ground and run what I like to do through the air. And this is one guy that I'm really glad is on my team.
I love that, Coach. And I love the confidence you had him. And again, a short period of time, but it seems like you're ready to go to battle with Cohen. And so are the rest of his teammates. How did the teammates feel in his leadership and him being the quarterback of this team?
He is a leader. I think our team is still trying to figure out who they are. And I think that just what they've all been through, I think everybody's kind of standoff on, what are we and who are we? But when it comes to when it comes to on the field in the huddle, he commands their respect and they give it to him, and he does a really good job running our team. I think that we're probably some wins away and a couple more weeks down the road before an established leader is going to come out and where people can trust that we're all doing this, for the right reasons and things like that. But he has done a great job. I put my arm around him after, I guess, the second big pass that he made and set up our second touchdown. I said, man, this is built for you, and I think he really believes it. I mean, he can play all kind. And really, what we're doing for him is we're developing him in different facets of football, and so now somebody at the next level is going to get a guy that can go under center,
no doubt,
and be in the shotgun, can roll out, can do all kind, throw on the run, which we have him do. So I think he's figuring out that the tools that we're teaching him is going to help him down the road and help us win.
Let's talk about the defense before we move on from the scrimmage game. And Jasper Mason, how did you feel about their side, their progression heading into week one?
Well, we didn't, like we said, we didn't prepare, so we're just looking at an offense who we don't even know who their guys are.
Right. So it's really hard to base that, right?
So we'll scheme up some people that we know. We know some of the Shaw guys that are the guys that want to get the ball to. So we'll be doing some things about that. But when it's scrimmage, straight up, we just played it, and then we just adjusted, throughout the game. But I thought he was in tune. I thought he was locked in. He knows his players. He knows what they can and can't do. And we got some things that we got to tweak on our defense. And, our defense is not there yet. I mean, I would say, and our offense isn't either. But we're both of us being coordinators are both really trying to, get us the best we can. And so we've made some moves. And so, we're just we're asking guys to step up and play. And, we're still, every practice is out there. You got an opportunity to make the team, make the lineup. And, so we're wide open, but I think he's doing a good job. I think that Shaw will be a good test for him.
Yeah, All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back from break, we'll talk about Week 1 preparation and everything else that's going on here. Smith Station football, part of the Smith Station Coach Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll be right back after this.
Here they come! More big transport trucks full of new GMC trucks and SUVs to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of the best-selling full-size GMC Sierras, discounted up to $12,750 off. New GMC Terrains with a fresh design, a spacious interior, and safety features, discounted up to $4,000 off MSRP. Plus, enjoy no payments until November at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Welcome back here to Smith Station Coaches Show. Blair Harrison, Thrift Barringer on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Coach, we talked about the scrimmage game. I like the confidence. I like what I'm hearing out of Smith Station, but you know that's just a scrimmage game. Now here's where all the talking season ends. You strap up the helmet. You take on a really good Shaw program. What do you know about them? I was able to be there last week against Northside. I know there's no hiding it. We're broadcasting all these games, so everybody's been able to see the film. But what are your expectations heading against Shaw?
Well, I mean, I just hope we can slow them down on defense. I think that they're very explosive. If we miss a tackle like we did Friday night in our scrimmage, they're going to score.
Yeah,
that scares me because obviously we're not a quick score offense. So getting a shootout with them is not what I'm looking for.
Right.
But I mean, they fly around on defense. They make plays. They just faced a really good Northside, well coached. Wing T kind of team that really knew what they were doing.
Yep.
And had some good running backs and the guards. Their guard play from Northside was really good. So, I don't know if we've got those type of players. We'll find out, Thursday night.
Right.
But the short week is really it's been really tough for me as a person that tries to cross every T and dot every I on everything. And I don't think we're going to have that done by Thursday, but we're doing the best we can.
Well, Coach, Shaw obviously has got a lot of speed on the outside. They got a really good quarterback as well. And Coach Gardner, because you hired him over there at Shaw. So this guy obviously is a pretty good coach. You wouldn't have hired him. So it should be a lot of fun. It was a game last year that went down to the wire at Smith Station. What is prep week look like, Coach, for your guys for the rest of this week, with it being a short week?
Well, I mean, I hope we don't wear them out, but we were here yesterday till 5 or 6 o'clock, and we were here this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, studying and teaching, and then we'll have a little bit longer practice today than normal, and, we're just trying to get everything in since, because Thursday feels like it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I just hope, but, they've got to go through the same thing, and they've got some distractions over there right now, so, maybe that'll help us, catch up a little bit, But other than that, I mean, I'm just trying to do the best we can, and when we get there, we'll do what we can do.
Yeah.
So.
It's happening this Thursday. You'll be able to watch the game live at 7 o'clock on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It's the Raiders and the Panthers, Coach, and I know you're excited. So here is your message, because we won't ask this again, because they're just going to have to come out and see on Thursday. But for the entire Smith Station community, what is it going to look like for a Blair Harrison-led team?
Well, I think that just what the feedback that I've gotten, which is exactly what I want it to look like. We play hard.
Yep.
We're going to get after, the other team. And if they're better than us, they're better than us. But we've got a long, high hill to climb. But I think we're heading in the right direction. But you're going to see a bunch of kids that really are hungry to win. And that's dangerous.
Yeah, no doubt about it, especially when they got a leader like yourself, Coach. It's the Smith Station Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Thursday night game. It is going to be between the Raiders and the Panthers, 7 p.m. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.